Hello everyone, this is 50 Plus coming to you with the video, and I just wanted to come to you and to say that first of all, this is a car chat which I will probably do once a month if it goes well, but mainly I wanted to come to you all because things that be on my heart these days are just, I hate it when people get married and are in their marriage and they're not happy. A lot of times we have signs letting us know that this is a red flag. Do not marry this person. So it just reminds me of like about 30 years ago. I was already married, and I had this young couple getting ready to marry this military guy, and she came to me and saying, what is your advice? And at that time I was able to tell her that if there's anything that get on your nerve that you don't like about that person, once you marry that person, that specific thing will magnify itself 100 times. So that's where I stood basically then. And what I meant by that is, a lot of times when we're dating people, we think some stuff is cute. When, you know, your boyfriend or your significant other, your girlfriend, they, for instance, reach across the table and eat some of your food. Or they just go in your purse and get your money out and buy something from the ice cream truck in the neighborhood. Just whatever little things, you know, it can start to get on your nerve, and it's not cute. It's not all the time something that's very deep and serious. Sometimes it's just the most shallowest things, but it just irks you to no end. And so by you becoming irked, irritated, a lot of times it can lead to some form of resentment. And why don't this person mature? What's wrong with him? Just, you know, it can just go all the way left. But then lately I realized that if I were to give some sort of advice on who you should be with, my recommendation today would definitely be based on you knowing yourself. I do not believe two halves make a whole. I do not believe in you give 50%, I give 50%. I believe everybody should come into a relationship as a whole person. And I know that's not easily attainable for some people that have certain background, but for the most part, if you can somehow get in a relationship with a person that is whole, and what I mean by that is they have confidence in themselves. They're not insecure about you, themselves, and they mainly can handle their own, and they're not jealous, and just some things that can definitely be avoided when you have a person that is a whole person and not a needy person, a person that just feel like if you're not there, their day is not made, they're down, they're out. I can go on and on what my definition of what a whole person is, so I don't want to, because the video shouldn't be that long. And then as far as marrying somebody with your core values, and a lot of times you get with a person, you're initially attracted to them because of whatever reasons, but then you find out that they don't believe they don't feel how you feel about things that you're very passionate about, that you feel very strongly about, and that you would never change, and that you won't compromise on. In a relationship, there's always compromises, but things that you strongly value are not things you should have to compromise on. You should have to compromise on what day we're going to buy groceries, if we're going to get this or that, or, you know, what vacuum cleaner to buy, or who does this or who does that for us, cleaning the house, chores, and there are many things you can compromise on that won't hurt your core value. And what I mean by your core value is your spiritual beliefs, for one. And if you really believe a certain way spiritually, you need a person that believes that same way. It's just the worst thing to be in a relationship and want to express how you feel about the Almighty, and the other person could care less. It takes a lot away from you, because you're very passionate about that, and you don't have the person you're in love with to share that with. And the next thing is, if you really believe that you're born to do a certain thing, like it's your gift, and then another person comes in and want to alter that, that's a problem. The other thing is, besides not compromising your core values, is I sort of want to stand by the scriptures when it says, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So what I mean by that is, when a man finds a wife, for instance, usually in a relationship, a woman is willing to compromise things more than a man would, unless you have this extremely henpecked man. But normally a woman, as the giver, would just do what she can to make things peaceful, loving, and right, and comfortable, and homey, and fair. So a lot of times you'll get a guy that's attracted to you because you look a certain way on the outside, or for whatever reason in his mind that he would decide to hit on you, pursue you. And then if he doesn't have sense enough to realize where you're going in life does not match up with his God-given goals, desires, or talent, to leave you alone and find that person that will complement what he's born to do. When the guy finds a woman that complements his core values, his desires, his natural talent, then you'll have a better relationship. So a lot of times I feel a marriage falls apart because guys are full of lust. They lust after a certain kind of woman. If she's beautiful, they want arm candy. If she's got certain attributes, different things. There's many different reasons why an individual will pursue another individual. But in the case of when the scriptures say, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, he needs to know more about himself than what he's lusting after. Because in the long run, he's going to resent the lady and act and feel as though she's not supportive, feel as though she's not stepping up to the plate, feel as though she's not caring about what he cares about. You're who you are. And if you don't care about something somebody else cares about, you shouldn't be blamed for that. That's just not your interest. But a lot of times it will just frustrate the guy, and then he would start turning his eyes other ways. So a lot of times, if the man can just find that woman based on where he's going in life, she will fit like a puzzle. And then the troubles you would have in that relationship will be minimum, instead of all of the unnecessary problems you can have because you have the wrong person in your life. It takes a certain amount of maturity, a certain amount of experience to get to this level. But I do know that there are people that are mature enough to understand themselves well enough to know when to get out of a relationship, and when to know that this is not working. Now, me personally, I don't believe in dating past a year. If I don't see myself married to you in my mind from dating you, I don't need to continue in this relationship. I need to cut it off and make myself available to someone that would be a better suit and a match for myself. So a lot of times we get ourselves into trouble, and then we want to blame the other person. But a lot of times you have to look at yourself. The information you had and what you knew about your relationship, and you overrode that, downplayed it, felt like I'll live with the consequences of it, but I'm just going to be with this person. I'm going to marry this person. A lot of times we bring these problems on ourselves. And I'm going to quote the scriptures once again. And it says, if you suffer for your own mistakes, take it patiently. So in other words, you doing something that had an adverse reaction, you might just have to deal with it and ride it out. Because you didn't listen to the spirit within telling you this is not good, the red flag and all that. I sound like I'm starting to ramble, but if you can get anything out of this, the basic thing is try not to feel so anxious to be in a relationship, to be married, because I don't know who you're pleasing. Because a lot of times it's hard because people act like, well, the saying that I used to say is, you don't even know who you are because you act like who you think people think you are. So get to know yourself. Get to know yourself well enough to know that you are not going to settle for less, that you have the right to be happy. You have the right to be emotionally happy, physically happy, financially happy, and spiritually happy. And if you have to wait longer than you want to obtain that, I'm saying do that. Because in the long run, it's better to get married later in life and be married one time for the rest of your life than rush into a relationship and get married several times in your lifetime. So be patient with yourself. And don't beat yourself up if you decide to opt out of a relationship that's just not for you. You don't have to wait till you get married and divorce. Try to be aware of flags and try to take the time you need to observe those flags so that you don't have to go into a relationship and waste all of that time when you can wait around for the right relationship, and then you can invest all the time you want into it because it is the one. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. And this is another card chat with 50PLUS2013, Theresa. So I want to say have a wonderful day, and I got to get back to work. Take care.